Coach Prime talked about the offensive line, and he mentioned that a lot of new faces are going to be seen, moving forward. How do you view the offensive line so far?
We're a work in progress. Everything's new for them. Like I said before, we've hit that point in spring ball where I think we're on like number 8 today. Just too much thinking. With our system and what we do in Coach Lewis's system, we have to make maybe 1-2 calls and just come off the ball and run. And got a lot of guys just overthinking things right now. So anytime they do that, they're just going to hesitate. And that's what we're trying to get through right now. And honestly, it's just trying to find the 5 that are going to work together right now. It's always tough when you're introducing new people to new schemes, and we rely a lot on combos and vertical game and everything else like that. So just the little nuances of working with each other, dropping our pad level and running off the ball. So that's a big thing right now.
Remember you said at the beginning of practice that the physical element of the offensive line really needs to come along. Here we are, week 3. How does it look?
Still there. We, like I said just earlier, we've got to learn how to drop our pad level and run our feet. And just working the run fits is something that I wish we had 70 days in spring ball, to be honest with you. I know they don't want that, but it's something where we have to be able to work a run fit to be able to fit on a defensive lineman, to get them vertical and be able to run our feet. I know I've said that 50 times, but it's something that they have to be. It has to be second nature for them. They have to be able to take those steps in their sleep, and that's what we're working on right now. Just the basic fundamentals.
Coach, the addition of Jack Bailey this weekend, how important is it bringing in a guy that knows a system like this?
Huge. Jack not only brings a bit of the mental part of it, of knowing our system, but he's a tough guy, and that's what we're lacking. And Jack's a battler. He's a tough kid. I'm happy as heck to know he's coming in, because I know what he brings. Not only just on the game day, but in scrimmages or anything else. But Jack, an individual, is one of those guys that is constantly working, man. That guy wants to get better every rep. And that's you need that, especially offensive linemen, because they're going to learn from me, but they're going to learn from those guys around them more than me, just from watching how guys work, and that's what's going to be important.
But you have a lot of guys that were starters last year at their various colleges. Is that showing up right now, and is that kind of helping the process right now?
It helps and hurts, because you break bad habits. And not saying bad habits, because everybody coaches O-line different ways, but it's our system. It's buying into our system and knowing, all right, when we're going to work that deuce on our gapping unit, how we block that deuce, what that tackle does. We're not going to gallop. We're not going to take certain steps that other people teach, which is fine. We just don't do that. I want guys that are flat running off the ball.
When you were at Kent State, how long did it take to get that conditioning piece down?
The conditioning piece? It was different in fall camp, and I'm looking forward to that here, because we hit our stride there, and then we went to COVID, kind of knocked us back a little bit with our numbers and our practices, but then we ended up picking up. But when this thing's rolling, it's a thing of beauty, man. For an offensive lineman, I've said before, it's a blast, because they're pulling, they're running, they're working techniques, they're out in space. It's a fun offense for an offensive lineman. And yeah, they're conditioning, but they don't think about it. And that's what I have to get in their head, that keep going those 10, 12, 15 play drives, man. It's going to pay off, and that's what we're getting to right now in our practices.
If Tank, Wiley, and Van Wells were all starters here last year, what's your early impression of those guys?
Those guys are workers, man. I'm happy with them. They're all doing good things. They're all working right now. They're all improving. I know it's the strength part that we've really lacked, and that's something that we've really got to address, especially in this offseason. This summer is huge for those guys. I love the way those guys are competing, and like I told them right off the bat, they all bought in. I was happy as heck they all stayed. I mean, for those guys to go through 5, 6 O-line coaches in the time they have, they don't trust me. They don't trust anybody who comes in here, and that's what I've got to earn from those guys. They got to be able to trust what we're doing, and they're buying in, man. I'm happy with them.
Does Van Wells have the qualities that you would look for in a center prospect?
Yeah, he's coming. He's coming. He struggled a little bit today. Bam, he'll hit the easy button every once in a while. I want to take that blow, but hopefully I can get his pad level down and start finishing. Biggest thing with Bam right now is competition. And that's what I stress to all these guys, and that's how I base my individuals. I want those guys competing in individual like no other. And Bam knows we've got some good centers coming behind him, but he doesn't have that guy Preston to take his job right now. And they all need that. And that's what I'm trying to introduce to them, an individual. Take somebody's job. I don't care if you're a fifth string. Jump in there against that number one and take his job. Because once you get it, I'm going to try to replace you. So that's the way it works.
What have you seen from Tyler Brown so far?
He's raw, man. He's got that caveman technique. He doesn't use his strength the way I want him to, but it's coming. You couldn't ask for a better kid, though. I mean, he buys into everything you say. He watches film. He's a great student. He puts the time in, man. He's going to be a great one. I love what he's doing.
Is someone like Tank just exciting for you to work with as an O-line coach, just given his size and just the frame and potential that he has? Obviously, last season he got plenty of chance to start, and it seemed like he was growing with each snap he played.
The biggest thing about Tank is what people don't realize. He's never had an off season. This is this guy's first season where his off season where he's actually had to lift and made it through with that because he has injuries, he's had surgery, he's had this and that, COVID. So watching him grow and watching what he does now, he's got a natural punch, which I actually love in pass pro. He knows how to work his hands. Now it's just a matter of with the big tall cats, man. You got to work on the flexibility and being able to bend, not just at the waist, but dropping their hips and dropping their knees. And he shows some signs of being a great one. And he's another one, man. They're doing a great job. They're all working hard.
With Savion knowing you and Coach Lewis already, have you leaned on him as a leader, and has he had to be a leader among that group?
Savion is not a vocal guy. If you've ever been around him, he ain't gonna say two words. He's quiet. He's very reserved, but he's showing a little bit more intensity than even what he showed for me at Kent. So he's taken that. He knows where I'm coming from on that vocal stuff. I hate those rah-rah guys that just grunt and do everything else, but they don't do anything on the field. So he knows he's going to lead by example. And he's got that toughness in him. And again, it's just a matter of it's just like Tank. Walking in here, I'm seeing all these tall cats that I haven't seen ever in my coaching career with the length we have. Now it's just a matter of getting the strength, being able to bend and run off the ball.
When you watch film of a recruit or a transfer, what are you looking for on tape to see
Finish.
them play?
I'm looking to see where they're at the end of a play, to be honest with you. First thing I look for, and I've learned from some great offensive line coaches, been around some great people, so I take bits and pieces of everything that I can fit into our system, and that's what I'm looking for. But I look for finish, and I look for athletes. And then also, what he asked me before, I look for that grinder. What's this guy doing at the end of the play? Is he walking? Is he watching the play? Or is he the first guy to pick up that running back or wide receiver downfield? That's a big deal to me. So that's the guys we're looking for.
All right. Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah, appreciate it, fellas.